There's an exercise that I really love in creativity and personal mastery because it's so simple and powerful at the same time. And it's called Coping with Life for Dysfunctional Methods. And what this exercise is about is that when we find ourselves in a problematic situation, professionally, personally, with family, with friends, or when we are unhappy with ourselves or unhappy for, or feeling some unpleasant feeling for whatever reason. And we often, instead of focusing on the situation and doing something about it, if we can do something, provided we can do something, obviously, we actually adopt one of these dysfunctional mechanisms, coping mechanisms, like complaining, finding excuses, blaming someone, or blaming ourselves, going on a guilt trip. And these mechanisms, they give us they're coping mechanisms, so they give us some relief, and in a way we've created an addiction. So, for example, you're unhappy at work, you're unhappy with your boss, and what you do, you spend your time with your friends or with your family complaining about him or her. And does that help? It may give you some relief, but it doesn't really help. So if you can do something about it, do something about it then. And if you can't do anything about it, then accept the situation. But complaining makes you feel. Actually, ultimately it makes you feel worse. It's negative energy, the negative emotions that you're bringing to the surface, and that you're sharing with other people, with your friends, with your family, with other colleagues. So it's, again, you might feel a sense of relief, but it's more of an addiction than anything else. It does not help you. And the same when we blame someone else, or when we blame ourselves. And we feel guilty about something we did or we said and we shouldn't have. There's a basic principle that both in spirituality and in neuroscience, that whatever decision we take is the best decision that we could have taken in that moment, given the information that we have available, given the situation around us, given everything that has happened in our whole lifetime and our brain has recorded. If we could have taken a better decision, we would have taken it. And this is true for everyone else as well. So, of course, everyone uses their own mental models to decide what is good and what is bad, what is the right decision to take and what is the wrong decision to take. So, I'm not saying that everyone has very helpful and healthy mental models. So, there are some decisions that other people took that will put us in a difficult situation. But blaming them is again, spending time blaming them for whatever happened is not healthy. If we have it's not healthy and not helpful. If we feel something bad, a negative emotion due to something that someone said or did, well, first of all, we should remind ourselves that we are in charge of our emotions. And if someone hurts us, or disappoints us or frustrates us, we are giving them the power to do it. And so that is an area, if that happens often, then we should work on our mental models around that relationship, and see what we can do to take back control of our emotions. And the other thing is that, again, ultimately everyone is trying to do their best. And so, again, they might not have the mental models that we think are right, but that's what they have. So, and because of everything that happened in their life before this very moment. And this is the same for us. Whatever we do, whatever decision we take, whatever we say, is the best thing that we could have done or said at that point in time. So there's no reason to feel guilty if now we have different, better information, and we want to change what we did, we can. And if we can't change it, then we accept that this is where we are, and we'll try to work on the situation and do our best going forward. If we can change it, we change it. But again, feeling guilty doesn't make any sense. Now, being so zen about not blaming, not feeling guilty, not complaining about things. Now, being so zen, like 100% zen about it, is a goal we can achieve, but of course, it takes time, and we may never really get there. Although every step that we take on in that direction will help us. But the important thing here for this exercise is that what we can do immediately and all the time is realize that nothing good ever comes out of one of these dysfunctional methods. There's no reason, and nothing good can come out of complaining, finding excuses, blaming someone, or feeling guilty for something. And so what we can do immediately, even if we're not in this complete Zen state, and it will take us years to get there, but what we can do immediately is just observe and notice when we adopt one of these dysfunctional coping mechanisms, and stop. And just remind ourselves, oh, I'm complaining. There's really nothing good that can come out of complaints. So let's just not do it. And that will also remind me, okay, what situation was I complaining about? Can I do something about it? Okay, then let's focus on doing something about it rather than complaining. Can I, and if I can't do anything about it, okay, then let's focus on accepting it and looking ahead and looking at, okay, what can I do to improve it going forward? And this is the same for all the other coping mechanisms. Guilt is the same. Whenever I feel guilty, again, we have so many mental models ingrained inside ourselves that ultimately make us feel guilty. And it will take time to get rid of them. But one thing we can do immediately is whenever we go on a guilt trip, just stop, think, oh, okay, I'm on a guilt trip. There's nothing good ever coming out of a guilt trip. So take a deep breath, maybe take the pause, and continue without the feeling of being guilty.